Hi there, it's Bradley from BetterCar. It's nice to be back. We're back after lockdown and this is the first video after that, and I'm incredibly happy to be doing this again. We're starting off with a Smart 4.2 Cabriolet. It's coming into the summer months, it's getting a little bit warmer now, so people are starting to think about maybe getting a convertible for the summer, but maybe you don't want something that's completely impractical or something that you can still use in the winter months as well. This is probably the perfect car for you. Now this is a Mark III Smart 4.2, so this is it was ran from 2014 until the present day. So this is basically the latest version of the Smart, and if you were to buy a brand new one, it'll be pretty much exactly the same as this. Now this one in particular is a prime premium version of the Smart 4.2, so it comes with this lovely grey metallic paintwork on the body. You get leather seats inside and a lot more specification in there because of that. I'll move round to the back so I can show you the roof and how it all works. So you can see from that angle that you've got the red Trident safety cell on this car, so it goes all the way around the car. It is basically the crumple zone, because you don't have much body in terms of metal in front of you or behind you on this car. They have a big thick safety cell on these. So yeah, this is a £200 optional extra from the factory. It's being the prime premium model, you do get this with a lovely grey paintwork on here, and then also the diamond cut with black alloy wheels as well. Now the boot in this is not actually that bad. It's 260 litres, so that in itself is about 100 litres smaller than a Golf, so it doesn't sound that bad, but you have actually got quite a high aperture here to work with. But the only problem with it is that this doesn't open up, unfortunately. It's because the roof actually folds down on itself in order to make this a proper cabriolet. Now I'll show you how the roof works and then we'll move inside. Righty then, before we move inside the car, I'll just show you this. So these parts of the Trident safety cell, you've got a button somewhere here. Yep, there we go. So if you press that back and then back again, you can lift these panels out completely and leave yourself with basically a completely open top car. So you can do this on both sides. The doors themselves are pillarless, so it gives a much more open air feeling. Righty, moving inside the Smart 4.2, you have a lot more room in here than you thought that you may do, because obviously it's a very small car in dimensions, but you have more than enough legroom in the front just here. I say in the front, there is no back seat in this car, but you get these lovely leather with white stitching seats in here. They are heated, so that's a nice little extra on a car like this. You get cruise control, you get automatic wipers, you get the sat-nav system just in the center screen just here. That might play out. You do also have your FM radio stations. This one does not have DAB digital radio, unfortunately, and also your Bluetooth connectivity is also in there. So moving below that center screen, you've got your climate controls. So they are a single zone climate control, but they are automatic, and you do have air conditioning on this car as well, which makes it extra nice. If you do want to keep that top up maybe on an extra hot day, then you can have aircon blowing on you instead. This is an automatic version of the Smart 4.2, so it makes it extra easy when driving around the city. You've got parking sensors on the rear. Other than that, you get a lot of stuff on this car. So you get electric windows, electric mirrors. This particular one, being the prime premium model, does come with the rev counter on the dashboard, and you have got a nice big colour screen in the centre of the dials just there as well. That's just to show you your mileage, your miles per gallon, how efficiently you're driving as well. So moving on to the paperwork that comes with the Smart 4.2 Cabriolet, we have got the logbook just here that shows that there is only one owner on the car from brand new. And then we have the MOT, which is until January next year with no advisories at all. And you can also see on here the safety check that our local garage carries out for us. There's no issues with this particular car. And then finally, moving on to the service history, we've got full service history with this car, and you can see here that it was last carried out at 15,884 miles. Righty then, let's take the Smart 4.2 Cabriolet out for a drive. I have got the roof open, but I'll keep the windows up just so that the audio isn't too interfered with. I'll just hear the reversing sensors working. And the best thing about these cars is easily the turning circle. You can basically do a complete 180 on the spot. Right, So, go right out of here. So yeah, as I said, this is an automatic smart car. Changes the gears pretty much seamlessly. The older smart cars used to use a very different gearbox, so they used to be quite jerky on the upshifts. It pulls you up to 40 miles an hour very, very easily. It's a very easy car to drive, this. Now, this particular one has covered 19,668 miles as I drive it now. So it's not very high mileage at all. Obviously, cars like this are basically just used around the sort of cities and town centres. So these generally don't have too many miles on them from brand new. So yeah, nice just to have the roof off. Makes it incredibly nice as a summery car. The visibility with that roof down as well is actually still quite good. So you can still see perfectly out the back, it doesn't obscure your view. I'm now in a 60, I'm doing 45. I'll put my foot down, wait for it to change down, there it goes. That's 50, 55, and 60. So it brings up to 60 miles an hour pretty easily. They're not the fastest cars in the world, they're only a 0.9, so they're not massive engines and they're not massively powerful, but they are quite good for what they are. Right then, taking it up some country roads, let's just see how this sort of fares. It's quite a soft ride. This is a very, very bumpy road. But yeah, this deals with it incredibly well. There's no horrible vibrations or rattles in here. The brakes are very progressive. They're nice and easy to work out how they react. On my way back to BetterCar, just take it around some curvy roads. Feels, even though it's such a tiny little car and obviously the wheels are right at the edge of each corner, it does actually feel like a much bigger car than it is, which is a massive compliment, especially for a car this sort of size. It's not something that you can really say about Toyota Aygos or Peugeot 108s. They generally feel quite tinny, whereas the Smart, being a Mercedes product, does feel a lot better made because of that. Now, this car does come with full Smart service history, so it's been incredibly well looked after in its life. And pulling out, just give it a bit of beans. It's only a tiny little engine, but it picks up quite well. So as I'm coming along here, I'm doing 55. If I press the cruise control button and then the set button, that's it. It will hold me at 55 miles an hour. I can take my feet off the accelerator and it will do all the work for me. So you can use this car on the motorway, even though they're maybe made more so for city centres and towns. This still can be used on the motorway and will happily sit at 70 miles an hour whilst doing a reasonable 40 to 45 miles to the gallon. So that was the Smart 4.2 Cabriolet. If you like this car or you'd like any more information on this, please call us on 01245 403 367. Or alternatively, you can email us on inquiries@bettercar.co.uk.